They came, a human tide, courage burning bright in their hearts, across the unforgiving sands of Sudan. Opposing them, a thin line of men, few in number, held their ground, their gaze unwavering, waiting for the inevitable. Then, the desert itself seemed to tear open, a terrifying, relentless sound echoing across the vast open space. The silence that followed was heavy, profound sorrow settling upon the land, whispering tales of courage and loss. How could 50,000 zealous warriors be utterly shattered by a mere 8,200 disciplined soldiers? It's a question that whispers through the annals of history, a profound mystery of impossible odds. Perhaps a quiet revolution was at play, an unseen force reshaping the very nature of conflict. Imagine the fervent belief, the unshakable zeal of 50,000 warriors ready to sacrifice all for their cause. And then, the steady, stoic discipline of 8,200, a smaller force yet bound by training. This wasn't just a battle, it was a collision of worlds on the scorching, unforgiving Sudanese desert. A landscape that has witnessed countless struggles, but none perhaps as stark or as defining. Here, in this sun-baked land, warfare underwent a shocking, brutal, irreversible transformation, forever changed. The brutality was unparalleled, a chilling testament to new technologies and the relentless march of change. It left a deep scar, changing forever how humanity would wage its terrible, modern, devastating wars. An invisible wall of lead rose from the dust, a barrier no human will could breach. It redefined conflict itself, setting a terrifying precedent for the wars yet to come globally. This was Omdurman, a pivotal moment, a turning point in our shared human story's tapestry. We'll journey back to this crucial point, understanding the profound forces that collided so violently. Together, we'll delve deep into the sun-scorched earth, listening to echoes of that fateful day. It's a profound story, challenging notions of courage, technology, and the enduring heavy cost of empire. Join me now as we uncover the harrowing truths and lasting impact of this brutal historical encounter. For history, my friend, is not just facts. It's about feelings, lives, and profound lessons. This land, etched by sun and sand, held stories far deeper than mere conquest, whispers of ancient resilience. For years, a quiet unease simmered here, a feeling of imbalance in the very soul of this proud people. Distant powers cast long shadows, their ambitions slowly creeping across these hallowed, ancestral lands. Life flowed to its own rhythm, yet the rumble of change was growing, barely audible at first. The world was shifting, and Sudan, a land of fierce independence, found itself caught in currents. Then, from the very heart of the desert, a voice began to rise, strong and unwavering, a prophet's call. His name was Muhammad Ahmad, a man who believed himself chosen by something profoundly greater than kings. He declared himself the Mahdi, the guided one, sent to purify and restore the true faith. His message resonated deeply, touching hearts yearning for justice, for a return to simpler, purer ways. What began as a whisper in the wind soon became a roar, attracting more and more souls. They were called Ansar, or helpers, but the British would call them dervishes, devoted to their sacred cause. A new spirit ignited, a beacon against perceived corruption and foreign interference, fueled by fervent belief. From disparate tribes and villages, an army began to coalesce, driven by shared faith and purpose. They faced the established powers with simple weapons, but with a zeal that few could withstand. With each victory, their numbers swelled, and their legend grew, spreading like wildfire across the land. The city of El Obeid fell, a clear sign that this was no mere rebellion, but a rising empire. The Mahdist state was born, a desert empire forged not by steel, but by a powerful, unifying faith. It stretched its influence, a beacon of self-determination, defying the prevailing tides of colonial ambition. The British, accustomed to swift victories, suddenly faced a force driven by something they barely understood. Then came Khartoum, a fortress city, a symbol of British presence, under siege for months. General Gordon, a British hero, found himself isolated, surrounded by an enemy whose resolve never wavered. The Mahdi's victory at Khartoum was resounding, a powerful testament to their unwavering spirit. This was more than a battle won. It was a defiant roar against imperial designs, a stunning triumph. The news sent shockwaves through London, a bitter pill to swallow for the mighty British Empire. But alas, even prophets are mortal. Muhammad Ahmad, the Mahdi, soon passed from this world. His chosen successor, Khalifa Abdullahi ibn Muhammad, stepped forward to guide the young, fervent empire. The Khalifa consolidated power, ensuring the Mahdist state, his predecessor's legacy, would endure and flourish. This was a clash of worlds, ancient tradition against the relentless tide of modern industrial ambition, a deep-seated conflict, a chasm of understanding, brewed beneath the scorching desert sands, waiting. The stage was set. A powerful, independent empire now faced the full might of a vengeful British Empire. Our gaze now turns across the vast, silent sands to another world's methodical, relentless, unwavering determination. At its heart, General Kitchener, a man of quiet, meticulous purpose, his mind a fortress of unwavering, cold design. 13 years prior, Khartoum's fall. Gordon's ghost whispered, demanding reckoning, a solemn, enduring, unforgotten imperial promise. The objective clear: reclaim Sudan, crush the Mahdist power, honor a legend's tragic, final, brave sacrifice. More than conquest. This was a deeply personal imperial quest for retribution, a long, simmering, heavy blood debt. Up the ancient Nile they came, a deliberate, slow procession, a powerful river of iron, determined, unwavering men. Kitchener's mind saw order. He built, he planned, he moved, with an almost industrial, cold, calculating precision. Each rail segment laid, a sinew connecting their distant world to this wild, untamed, formidable ancient land. Kilometer by kilometer, the railway snaked southward, an iron vein pumping life into their advancing, determined, cold expedition. This wasn't a charge. It was a methodical, measured, inexorable push, a slow-burning, relentless fire of imperial might. Every bullet, every biscuit, every drop of water, meticulously accounted for, a vast, complex, fragile, vital network. The great river became their highway, carrying men, materials, and a heavy sense of inevitable, powerful, fateful confrontation. Kitchener understood the desert's demands. His advance, a testament to logistical genius, a true, methodical, strategic masterpiece. Infrastructure bloomed from the dust, temporary towns rising where only emptiness had stretched, silent for ancient ages. A disciplined, well-oiled machine, driven by a singular, focused objective, slowly grinding its way towards grim vengeance. Nights brought cool relief, but quiet reflection. They knew the vast, separating distance from home and all they held dear. Each man, a cog in Kitchener's design, carried the heavy weight of expectation and the shadow of destiny. The railway's whistle, a modern sound across ancient sands, announcing their relentless, methodical, sure, powerful advance. His vision clear, his resolve unbending. He saw victory, a methodical path, etched precisely in the desert dust. The relentless rhythm of marching feet, the pulse of an army moving towards a final, climactic, bloody encounter. Gunboats patrolled the river, a modern guardian, extending their reach, projecting power far into the wild, untamed heartland. Every detail, every soldier, every supply item, positioned like pieces on a chessboard, awaiting the inevitable, final move. Local faces watched, a silent gallery to this immense undertaking, understanding the shifting tides of power, forever changing. The long days blurred, distances shrinking, the final confrontation drawing ever closer, a fateful, somber, inevitable appointment. No deviation, no hesitation. Kitchener's line straight, his purpose clear, his advance unwavering, relentlessly forward-bound. The landscape subtly changed, hinting at settled lands, closer now to the heart of the Mahdist, defiant realm. Two vastly different worlds, one rooted in faith, the other in steel. now on a collision course. The air grew heavy with anticipation. The moment of truth, long awaited, now loomed powerfully, imminently, fatefully near. Khartoum, Gordon's last stand, now lay within sight. A grim promise of vengeance, a solemn, sacred vow. The stage was set, the armies gathered. A new chapter of history was about to unfold, written in blood. The desert swallowed their footsteps, but history remembered. A relentless march, a determined advance towards an unknown dawn. Kitchener, a man of iron will, felt the desert wind whisper. His resolve, unyielding, faced the coming storm. Slowly, the great Mahdist capital Omdurman emerged from the dust, a city awaiting its profound, uncertain fate. Within Omdurman's heart, Khalifa Abdullahi wrestled. A fateful decision, heavy with destiny, weighed upon him profoundly. His faith, a beacon, burned bright. He trusted in God's will, in his people's unwavering spirit. Numerical superiority, a powerful lure, swayed his judgment. He saw victory in sheer, devoted, overwhelming numbers. The choice was made, not behind walls, but in the open desert. A defiant, fateful decision. Across vast lands, the call went out. The faithful were summoned. Their collective destiny beckoned with purpose. Devoted men, women, and children began moving towards a central point. They carried bundles, their spirit resolute. Banners, vibrant and proud, unfurled against the desert sky. Symbols of faith, identity, and their defiance. A sea of gleaming spears reflected the Sunday ancient tools, honed by generations, guided by ancient courage. Swords, lovingly crafted, awaited their grim purpose. Shields, scarred from skirmishes, promised their only protection. An ocean of humanity, devoted and fierce, stretched across sands. Their sheer, overwhelming scale was breathtaking. Morale, fueled by conviction and prophecy, was absolute. Their spirit, unyielding, defied all doubt. A collective roar, a thunderous hymn of faith, shook the ground. They feared nothing, only God. Meanwhile, Anglo-Egyptian forces, precise and methodical, began grim preparations. Orderly, efficient, deadly, they moved. They dug into the earth, creating their zareba. Thorns and sand, their only immediate defense. The zareba, a fortified sanctuary, slowly took form. A disciplined response to the approaching chaos. Discipline, an unseen shield, guided every hand. Each man knew his place, his duty, his weapon. Giant cannons, their mouths hungry, rolled into position. Heavy steel, silent promises of destruction, waited. An artillery officer, sighting through a scope, his face intent. The barrel pointed towards the distant horizon. Then, the 52, delivered with quiet precision, awaiting their horrific, unprecedented purpose. Silent. Each Maxim, a marvel of human ingenuity, was carefully assembled. Gears and springs, silent harbinger of doom. They were placed strategically, silent sentinels of devastation, hidden teeth, ready to tear flesh. 52 cold steel instruments of death poised. A technological nightmare about to unfold upon the desert. As day bled into night, the desert swallowed light. A profound stillness settled upon the land, waiting. Within the zareba, soldiers huddled around small fires. They spoke in hushed tones, awaiting dawn. Kitchener, alone, stood silently, looking into the vast darkness. He knew the horrors awaited them. Then, from vast darkness, a heartbeat. Distant, insistent, the ancient rhythm of Dervish drums began. The drumming grew, a primal pulse across stillness, a testament to their fierce, unyielding devotion. It was a sound working on the soul, not just ears, a drumbeat of challenge, of fury. Under the star-strewn sky, the Mahdist army prepared. Their prayers mingled with the rising drumbeats. Sometimes, a momentary hush. The silence then felt heavier, more pregnant with unspoken dread. Then, a resurgence. Drums and chanting, a tide of sound washed over Anglo-Egyptian lines. Sentries, nerves frayed, scanned the moonlit plains. Every shadow seemed to shift, seemed to come alive. The shadow of battle, immense, inescapable, stretched over both armies. A heavy pall, a chilling silence. A young soldier, staring blankly ahead. Thoughts of family, of life, surely slipping away. Slowly, inexorably, the eastern sky began to lighten. Dawn, bringing either salvation or destruction. As light touched the horizon, the Mahdist host became clear. A human tide, vast, terrifying. The Zareba, a small, defiant island of order, awaited. Its fragile strength against overwhelming devotion. Cold, metallic gleam of artillery barrels and Maxim guns caught the sun's first rays. Kitchener, with his officers, made a final survey. His expression, grim yet resolute, awaited. A distant, imperceptible ripple through Mahdist lines. Their first movement forward, fate's unstoppable surge. From Anglo-Egyptian lines, they gazed at the immense, moving Mahdist force. The air thick with tension. The desert awakens, not to gentle warmth, but to the whispers of a coming storm, a destiny soon to unfold. They gathered, a silent promise, under a sky still bruised with night's fading touch, their purpose clear. A low hum, growing, swelling now into a roar as thousands began their fateful march, unwavering. Across the vast, indifferent sands, an army surged forward, a tide of faith and unimaginable courage. Banners unfurled, brilliant against the stark desert, symbols of a belief that transcended fear and doubt. Each face a testament to unwavering conviction, their steps measured, their resolve carved deep within them. An awe-inspiring human wave, flowing relentlessly across the open desert, a spectacle both grand and terrifying. The very earth trembled beneath their determined stride, a living testament to their incredible, unified human spirit. Their hearts beat with a singular purpose, echoing an ancient courage, a faith that moved mountains and men. They came, tens of thousands, a human torrent flowing towards an unimaginable future, unwavering in their belief. A sudden, earth-shattering roar ripped through the morning stillness, a violent intrusion from unseen machines. Geysers of sand and smoke erupted ahead, tearing holes in their advancing lines, a stark, brutal warning. Unseen projectiles shrieked through the air, their voices a chilling herald of the devastation about to be wrought. Explosions tore through their ranks, a cruel, indiscriminate harvest, as men fell like broken reeds. Their ordered ranks faltered, a ripple of terror passing through them, a pause born of overwhelming, brutal force. The very air grew thick with smoke and dust, a grim shroud descending upon the unfolding, desperate struggle. A relentless thunder shaking the very earth announced the arrival of modern war's terrifying, impersonal might. Courage met steel and fire. As bodies collapsed, a tragic testament to the relentless, impersonal nature of the assault. Amidst the chaos, leaders urged them on, their brave voices swallowed by the overwhelming din of destruction. Still, they pressed forward, a profound act of will against a brutal, unrelenting torrent of unseen fire. Then, a new sound, a metallic rasp, whispered through the air, heralding an even deeper, colder horror. Small, dark instruments, with an insatiable hunger, began to sing their terrifying, relentless song of demise. The very air ahead of them was torn, shredded by an invisible curtain of lead, a deadly, ceaseless rain. Not isolated shots, but a continuous, bone-chilling rattle, weaving a relentless, inescapable tapestry of death. They struck an invisible barrier, a wall of pure, unyielding lead, shattering their magnificent, desperate surge. Swathes of men fell, not one by one, but in sickening cascades, a horrifying, brutal, indiscriminate harvest. The Maxim guns, a chilling testament to cold engineering, pounded out their relentless, metallic, unforgiving rhythm. The desert floor became a violent, churning froth of sand and splintered hopes, a testament to efficiency. A suffocating haze of smoke and dust enveloped the scene, a grim, silent witness to unfolding tragedy. This was not individual combat. It was an industrial process, a brutal, relentless mechanism of mass destruction. A look of dawning horror, a realization of futility, began to etch itself onto many brave, weary faces. The sands drank deep that day, as bodies accumulated, a silent, stark testament to overwhelming, brutal force. The air screamed with bullets' whine, cries of the dying, and the relentless metallic roar of the machines. Visibility dropped, an opaque shroud of smoke and dust blurring the lines between the living and the fallen. An unimaginable slaughter unfolded, a tragedy of monumental scale, painting the desert a heartbreaking crimson hue. Amidst the chaos, pockets of defiant bravery still flickered, a testament to the unyielding spirit of men. A hand still clutched a weapon, a testament to a final, desperate act of defiance against a merciless fate. The sun, now a harsh overhead gaze, cast long, accusatory shadows over the tragic, silent landscape. The machine, cold and indifferent, continued its work, an impersonal force shattering flesh, bone, and spirit. Hope itself lay broken, scattered across the sands, a profound testament to technological disparity's cruel truth. Still, incredibly, they pressed on, a profound human act against insurmountable odds, defying death itself. Their eyes held a defiant fire, a courage that burned brightly against the relentless, overwhelming storm of lead. They charged into the invisible wall, an act of almost spiritual defiance, a heartbreaking last, desperate stand. The desert fell silent, but its sands held countless stories now, etched forever by immense, brave sacrifice. They came like a tide, a human sea, but the shore they met was made of unforgiving steel. The air thickened with dread, each bullet a chilling whisper of a future that would never be. From those humming machines, a terrible song of death played, drowning out all other sounds. The earth itself seemed to recoil, as if in protest, spitting out sand and shattered dreams. So many fell. Like leaves in a sudden storm, their valiant charges withered under the unseen fury. Their sacred banners, once held so high with hope, now lay broken, silent witnesses to sorrow. On the other side, an unnatural calm, just the mechanical dance of men performing a terrible duty. Their grand charge, once a roar, now became a desperate whisper of retreat, dissolving into chaos. The vast plain, once vibrant with their faith, now held only the grim tableau of shattered ambition. Each desperate crawl, each labored breath, a testament to a will that simply refused to surrender. The iron rain continued, a ceaseless deluge, washing away their courage and their very lives. Even then, some stood defiant, their shields raised against an onslaught that knew no equal. The line where their dreams broke, a brutal demarcation between fervent belief and cold, hard steel. One lone figure, a whisper of old courage, still pressed onward, towards the inevitable silent end. The very air thrummed with a deadly rhythm, a symphony of destruction that echoed in history. Even those delivering the blows felt the heavy toll, a silent witness to such profound human cost. Amidst the chaos, tiny sparks of defiance ignited, groups refusing to yield, even against destiny. Where faith met steel, a desperate, personal battle, a fleeting moment of old-world courage against new. Each life, on both sides, a story. Each moment, a desperate struggle for mere survival. The ground drank deeply that day, a grim testament to the overwhelming, terrible power unleashed. Their leaders, voices hoarse with zeal, pushed them on, until their own voices too were silenced. The desert sun, an impartial witness, baked the sand, intensifying the profound sorrow of the day. The true scale of heartbreak, spread across this ancient land, was almost too much for eyes to bear. Even the most resolute hearts could not withstand such a torrent. The last bastions crumbled softly. A terrible hush fell, as if the very air held its breath, witnessing the profound silence of defeat. Their white robes, once symbols of devotion, now lay stained, becoming stark monuments to sacrifice. The plain itself became a canvas of sorrow, painted with lives that ended far too soon. Their tools of war, so steeped in tradition, now lay silent, beside the dreams they could not defend. As the smoke gently cleared, the true, brutal face of war revealed itself in all its sorrow. A victory won at such a dreadful price, a heavy burden carried silently by those who remained. Yet, on a distant flank, a stubborn refusal to yield persisted, a final, lingering challenge. Then, the thunder of hooves, a different kind of power, preparing to meet stubborn defiance. Among them, a young man, destined for history, experiencing war's brutal truth firsthand. Across the sand, the mighty lancers charged, a swift, elegant surge against the last defiance. Where steel met faith, a terrible clash. Horses and men, a whirlwind of desperate, brutal combat. Amidst the chaos, a future leader fought, a close call etching memory into his very soul. The valiant flank, though fighting bravely, at last buckled, its remaining strength utterly broken. The storm passed, leaving shattered men and the lingering echoes of a truly desperate, swift fight. He saw it all, felt it all. A reporter, a soldier, bearing witness to history's raw, savage edge. The once proud army, now a scattering of souls, fled the field, their courage finally spent. The victors gave chase, a relentless pursuit across the vast, unforgiving, now haunted sands. He turned, looked back, and saw not an army, but a future that had irrevocably shattered. The desert claimed them, each fleeing soul, a lonely echo of a once mighty, fervent dream. The sun sets on a new dawn, but the shadows of Omdurman stretched long, a silent, somber lesson. The roaring thunder faded, leaving an unbearable silence. A terrible storm had passed, forever changing this ancient land. Disbelief, then pure terror. Hope itself bled onto the parched desert. An awful, silent realization dawned. What was once a mighty host, now a tide of broken men, scattering like dust before an unforgiving gale. And then, the cold steel, swift and merciless. Kitchener's cavalry, an unstoppable wave chasing a shattered dream. No escape, no sanctuary. Only the desert wind whispered tales of an unequal fight, a pursuit without mercy. A canvas of human loss, stretched beyond comprehension. Each fallen soul, a life extinguished, a story forever unfinished. So young, so full of zeal, now merely part of the earth. A silent testament to a tragic, fervent belief. While chaos reigned, the victor's march began, steady and cold, a stark contrast, moving forward into a new dawn. The city of the Khalifa, now within reach. Its walls seemed to hold their breath, sensing the coming of change. An unsettling quiet fell upon Omdurman, the heartbeat of a nation silenced by the thunder of distant, relentless guns. Lives uprooted, stories paused mid-sentence, the everyday fabric of a city torn, leaving only whispers in desolate alleys. The seat of power, now merely a hollow shell. A kingdom's dream shattered, its foundations crumbled into dust. Tens of thousands, a human ocean, paid the ultimate price. The desert drank their courage, their faith, their blood. A mere few hundred, a whisper against the storm. The terrible calculus of modern war laid bare before our eyes. The cold, steel heart of victory. It chewed through flesh and bone. A hungry monster that changed warfare forever. No triumph here, only a somber, brutal reality. The cost of progress etched onto every silent, lifeless face. Sword against machine, the chasm of technology, a cruel divide that dictated the fate of nations, starkly revealed. A proud banner fallen, its vibrant colors muted. The Mahdist state, once a fervent dream, faded into history. The sun set on an era, on a vision, a grand, courageous, yet doomed stand against an unstoppable modern tide. The desert returned to silence, but it held the echoes, the sobering cost of asymmetric war, forever imprinted on the sand. Each grain of sand now a silent witness. The wind whispers their names, a requiem for the brave, the lost. The river flows on, timeless, yet its waters forever remember the blood spilled on these sacred, unforgiving shores. The world had changed, A harsh new dawn broke over a land that would never forget its terrible price. The desert breeze whispers tales of what was lost, the Mahdist dream, now just a fading echo. A chapter closed with a brutal flourish. The Dervish state, so fervent, now simply ceased to be. A silence fell, profound and heavy, marking the definitive, somber end of a powerful, impassioned resistance. Slowly, deliberately, new lines were etched upon the land. Control returned, a familiar, imposing hand. The old order, though altered, reasserted its dominion. Sudan's fate was once more determined by distant powers. From the dust and sorrow, a new entity emerged. Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, a shared, complex colonial future. Omdurman stands as a stark marker, a cruel line drawn in the annals of warfare. It was a moment when the very essence of battle shifted, forever changed by cold, hard steel. Those who witnessed it knew. A different kind of war was born that blistering September day. The battlefield itself began to change, reflecting this new, terrifying, industrial capacity for destruction. The human spirit, however brave, could not withstand the relentless, mechanical fury unleashed there. A volley of single shots gave way to a torrent, an impossible wall of lead and fire. The ancient ways met their tragic end, overwhelmed by an efficiency born of industry and cold logic. It was a stark, undeniable truth. Modern technology had forever altered the calculus of human conflict. For empires, Omdurman offered a grim blueprint. Power enforced through overwhelming, mechanical superiority. It emboldened some, terrifyingly, believing such power could quell any resistance, anywhere, with ease. Yet, even such might could not extinguish the defiant human spirit. Lessons learned perhaps too slowly. Military minds absorbed the brutal lessons. Strategy would now forever revolve around such destructive force. The future of warfare, chillingly, began to take shape. More machines, more fire, less personal struggle. The nature of command shifted too. Managing machines became as vital as leading men. Omdurman whispered a prophecy, a chilling glimpse into the horrors that lay just beyond the horizon. The intimate clash of blade on shield faded, replaced by an impersonal, industrialized ballet of death. The 20th century dawned, its conflicts destined to be vast, devastating, and profoundly, brutally efficient. The echoes of Omdurman still whisper across time, a stark reminder of change and a chilling lesson. It was a brutal dawn for so many souls, a testament to courage and tragic, overwhelming power. But Omdurman wasn't just an end. It marked a profound, terrifying new beginning for warfare's face. Here, technology wasn't just an edge. It was the chasm, separating destiny from desperate human will. The Dervish charge, a wave of ancient courage, met an unseen, unstoppable, modern, metallic storm. Strategy, too, found itself forever reshaped. Old ways crumbled before industrial age calculation. Yet, the courage of those dervishes, facing such a storm, remains an enduring, haunting human truth. Omdurman wasn't an isolated event, but a bell tolling for centuries of conventional combat. It's a chilling warning from history, reminding us how quickly the rules of war can change. If this deep dive into history captivated you, if it stirred your thoughts, please consider this. A simple like helps these profound stories reach more curious, thoughtful, seeking minds. Subscribe and join our journey as we uncover more cinematic moments that reshaped the world. Share your thoughts below. What other historical events show technology's dramatic battlefield impact? Your insights enrich our community, helping us all explore history's deeper, timeless, human echoes.